William Smart from Smart Design Studio, and I'm here to present Science Gallery Melbourne. This is a project that occupies a 3,700 square metre ground floor site of this building called Melbourne Connect. And it's a gallery that's designed to be read in the round, very connected to the streetscape. It's a fit out of an existing space of a building that was being built. There are multiple ways that it connects with the urban area. Some of that's through windows. Other examples are through digital bricks that we created at the entrance through here. But it's just little ways of trying to engage with the public domain and create a building that, a gallery that extends beyond its own footprint. It's a part of the international network of science galleries. So Science Gallery International has about 9 sites around the world. So they're in London, Dublin, India, and America, and so forth. And the mission of these places is to ignite curiosity and excite people about the idea of science and art and the collision of those two items together. So many of the exhibitions are created by young people for young people, and the target audience is 15 to 25-year-olds. So they will explore kind of interesting themes. This is an exhibition on perfection, which uses the work of artists that look at kind of ideas of perfection and scientists that are trying to build the perfect robot. Currently there's an exhibition on breaking the binary, which looks at binary from a artistic and scientific point of view. And earlier, a couple of years ago, they did an exhibition on blood, which was about the artistry and the science of blood, the threat and the life force of that liquid. So as an exhibition space, there's about 1,500 square metres down below ground, and it's a black box theatre, 2 workshops and a little exhibition space. And then on ground floor, there's a 100-metre long 2,200 square metre exhibition space, and it crosses over to have a little cafe, seating area, bleachers, exhibition spaces of all different kinds of science. It's sort of intended to not be structured in a traditional way. And then above that we have a series of mobile partitions. There's about 20 of these, and these can be configured in different ways and are hung from a gridded ceiling that distorts in the space. And that gridded ceiling allows these partitions that are 5.5 by 2.5 metres along to be extended out and configured in different ways to make rooms or panels or walls, and is one of the key ways of reducing waste for exhibition projects and increasing sustainability. And just like fluid dynamics, for example, we designed that ceiling, the gridded ceiling, to distort around the existing core and features of the space we inherited. So this is just showing how fluid will move around an object and distort, and in similar ways, like the Doppler effect or ways of expressing magnetic fields, we were looking at one simple gesture that would express the hidden forces of nature, like science, that would unite all of the spaces and then connect that back to the functionality of the exhibition space. So when you go in the space, you'll see these tall ceilings. They range from 5.5 metres generally to about 6.5 through here and to about 10 metres in another space. These are tracks that allow panels to be swung through the space and manoeuvred in many different ways. This is the foyer space, and it kind of represents the material palette, which is intended to be both urban and fun at the same time, so bright and also gritty. The floors are made from galvanised steel, and there's a lot of concrete in the space, and we think that's this kind of juxtaposition that youth likes. When you come into this space, there's a welcome area, but not a reception as you would traditionally see it, and people will help you to go through the exhibition spaces. There's two sets of bleachers, which are kind of wide stairs, and they're linked to lecture spaces that are very informal. So these ones extend down to a lower level and also lead you to the workshops in the lower areas that are connected to high school programs, so bringing a lot of high school children into the spaces. You can see also just how this grid distorts through the space as it weaves around the core and creates this optical illusion of changing height through the areas. Looking down into the exhibition spaces, this is photographed during an exhibition on swarm that's looking at plagues. And you can see down into these bleacher areas. They're made from galvanised steel with Comcork seating, so it's comfortable. It really works well because it's used and programmed a lot to have exhibitions and lectures in this space. But during the daytime, maybe just through the virtue of having free Wi-Fi and lots of PowerPoints, it's occupied by many students just hanging out in these areas. We integrated air conditioning into the slots so that it doesn't overwhelm the space, as well as exit signs. And then moving into other exhibition spaces, we photographed this one clean, so you can see the kind of qualities of a neutral space. And here it's with a creation by the artist Stellark. This is an interactive sculpture that expands and contracts when you walk into the space. So these are highly flexible, highly adaptable spaces set up for really high-tech installations where audio and visual and colour and light is all brought together as one. And you can also block off the space. Sorry?
Sorry, I just said 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yep. You can also block off the windows to reduce the amount of light coming into the space, but there's a challenge there with how interactive you want to make it as an exhibition area or how engaging with the street. So do you want it to be immersive or do you want it to be engaging? Again, a clean space photographed, and then with exhibitions going in throughout these areas. The reason why we did the floors in galvanised material is we can magnetically adhere different surfaces like wood or, say, AstroTurf or carpet down there, and it would reduce waste. These are the kinds of exhibitions, so there's underfloor displacement aircon, so you can move around and create rooms. You can see the panels through there. This is them being installed, so they're 5.5 by 2.5 metres wide. They can make rooms, they can make walls, there are doors that fit in with them as well, and they substantially reduce the waste of an exhibition, noting that most of the waste and therefore lack of sustainability is generated by throwing plasterboard and stud walls in the bin. They pocket into this side wall, so they pocket out of the way and can be used only when required. This is a little black box theatre space down below. The curtains can retract. It can be used for exhibitions as well, like for this particular exhibition through here. And then the workshops are linked into high school programs and designed to entice young people into the world and introduce them to universities, into the world of creative sciences. And then lastly, we have a look at the loos, which kind of are bright and colourful and big. I just thought I'd finish off with showing a couple of construction photos because it kind of gives you a sense of scale and hidden complexity in creating a space which is very adaptable, flexible, and designed to put the art on show instead of itself.